Now, a BBC investigation has found that the UK is shipping millions of waste tires to India each year, where they're being cooked in makeshift furnaces, causing potentially serious health problems. Instead of being recycled, the BBC's file on 4 investigates program discovered that millions of waste tires are being sold on the black market. PA Kenyan reports, most of us drive a car, and most of us at some time have to get our tires. Check changed. That's good. Thank you very much. Off with the old, on with the new. And within the bill, a small charge. We all pay for our tires to be disposed of safely and recycled. So this is our tire at its end of use point. The interesting question is, where does it go next? Well, they're supposed to be shredded, then used for things like surfacing horse arenas and children's playgrounds. But the BC's File On for Investigates program has discovered that around half of waste tires in the UK are squashed into bales. Like this, it's more profitable to do this, and then ship them abroad together with journalists from an organization called Source Material. We teamed up with an industry insider who fitted trackers to end-of-life tires to see where they ended up. What followed was an extraordinary journey, all the way to India, wherein instead of going for recycling, they were diverted on a 1.00 kilometer journey into central India, and look where they ended up in pyrolysis plants. Pyrolysis is a process that heats tires to high temperatures, retrieving oil and steel. We've been told that most plants in India are unlicensed and unmonitored, and it's illegal to import tires for pyrolysis in India. The process isn't clean. It creates a dangerous cocktail of gases and chemicals. These will be oil spills, I suspect, from the process again, or leaks even. And look, you can see here, carbon dust is penetrating the roofs of some of these sheds. Even basic health and safety rules being flouted. Our tire should not be ending up in places like this. The BBC approached one of the companies. They confirmed they were processing some imported tires, but said what they were doing wasn't dangerous or illegal. The TR estimates that 70% of tires exported to India from the UK and the rest of the world end up in these plants in January. There was an explosion at a makeshift pyrolysis plant near Mumbai. 2 children who'd been living inside the plant were killed, along with 2 adults. Local authorities have since shut down 7 neighboring pyrolysis plants. Our team returned to the site a month on to discover some facilities still operating. Pollution everywhere. Locals complained of sore throats and coughing as children played in the soot nearby mountains of tires, many from Europe and the UK. Our waste sold into India's black market, back home after a tip-off. We visited a tire disposal company in Rochdale which sells bales of end-of-life tires. We went with a local counselor. Its boss Zahir invites us inside. And where do these tires go? They go to India. India. Yeah. And what happens to them in India? They do Paris plant. They're making furnace oil. They make carbons. Brother, listen. I'm just not exporting only global tires. There are plenty of companies, 90% English people doing this business. Zah here points out, he can't control what happens when tires arrive in India. So his point is, yes, he does export end-of-life tires to India, where they are burned with huge environmental consequences. But he would say everybody does it. It's an open secret within this industry. And that's the point, he will say, until the government shuts it down. We'll carry on doing it. It's the government's responsibility. The government says it has rigorous controls in place for exporting waste tires and punishments, including unlimited fines and jail time for those who flout. The rules are, but environmental groups want stricter regulation of both dealers and of the waste itself. Paul Kenyon, BBC News, and I'm very pleased to say that Paul joins us in the studio now. And Paul, that gentleman, was saying it's an open secret. I've never heard of this. Well, we all take our ties in, don't we? And we pay a small levy. Most of us don't even know that we pay this levy. It's there at the bottom of the bill. And it means that our tires are supposed to be going for recycling in the UK or abroad, but that's what we count on safe disposal of. So you saw in the report we put trackers with somebody who's an insider in the industry. and off they went to the other side of the world, to India, where they ended up on pyrolysis plants. So it's an extraordinary thing. If you think they're going halfway around the world, when we think they're being recycled here, halfway around the world, where they're actually ending up as a pollutant in these pyrolysis plants. And this is happening on what kind of scale in the UK here? We have, in terms of end of life, ties about 50 million. So 50 million end-of-life tires. About half of them go to India. 25 million, which is, I'm told, about 350 neurotons, which is about the weight of the Empire State Building. So it's was not a great little analogy. So the weight of that going to India every year on the back of boats to be burned, most of them, the majority in pyrolysis plants. And you saw some of the damage it was doing, and yeah, so exactly that. Talk us through, because the scenes then in India are pretty extraordinary. Yeah, so we got the UKK India team to go and look at some of these places. I mean, soot everywhere. Children playing in the soot. They give off a kind of cocktail of chemicals and gases. So it's dangerous for people. And earlier this year, one of them exploded just outside Mumbai. 4 people were killed, so you know this is a black market which is exporting our pollutants to India in a place where it's unregulated, and where one of our contributors in this program says it's the Wild West of tire disposal. Wow, that's quite a way to describe. It isn't it, Paul. Thank you very much for your reporting. Paul Kenyon from the UKK's File On for Investigates. Thank you so much.